Okay, this is how to use templates, one of the most powerful parts of MT4, I would say. So if we just bring up any particular chart you want, bring up the euro dollar, this is your standard MT4 chart. So as we know, it doesn't give you a lot of information at all. So the templates are found here, okay, with the square box. So we've got a number of predefined templates that you get with iView, and these are all time frame specific. So this chart here is the H1 euro dollar. So we find the H1 chart template and put that on. So straight away, this is giving us the information that we want to see on the hourly chart. Now, what the template does, it brings specific elements, okay, from the indicators that we've already talked about, these custom indicators, and puts them into one view. So this is all the things, all based upon the indicators that we should look at in the hourly time frame on one template. Yeah, so all the time frames will look slightly different and the templates will look different because they've got different elements attached. So this particular H1 template is everything I believe you should look at from that hourly perspective. So we have our Fibonacci lines, we have our Bollinger Bands, we have our higher time frame points of attraction, and that's great because that gives us that all important information we need to see. So we see from the euro dollar here that the market's actually broke through these lower hourly levels of support and come down to these higher time frame points of attraction. So as we know from going through the indicators, the more we hold below these lower lines on the fib, the more bearish it actually is. So all the fundamental news that we hear about the eurozone right now is leading to us to believe that things are very difficult for the eurozone. The rest of the world's trying to normalise, with proper interest rates. But Mario Draghi has negative deposit rates. The US has stopped quantitative easing. Draghi's talking about doing quantitative easing. All these things, sound good on paper, but are actually bad. Okay, because all the world seems to be fixing itself, but the eurozone's still struggling. So with your template, what you have the ability to do is use any time frame that you want, okay, and get an idea of what the market from a technical perspective is trying to tell you. So we can make this very, very easy. If you want to trade the euro dollar, then what I would do is just bring the euro dollar out maybe 4 times. Window, tile it vertically, so you have 4 views on the same product. So just normal MetaTrader layouts, it doesn't give you any real information at all, does it? So what I'd start on is probably, let's start on the weekly. Okay, so start on the weekly to get an idea what the market's trying to do. Okay, it's going down. There's a lot of downward movement there. But if we just put the weekly template on, then we start to build up a better view and better picture of what the market's actually trying to tell us. So we start from the weekly to the daily. Okay, so the daily chart, of course, you're going to put the daily template. And as you see, they all look slightly different. Okay, as in what's displayed and some of the lines, and that's because some things aren't shown. Okay, so then go to the hourly chart and put the hourly time frame on. Looks slightly different, as we said. The 15-minute will be the last for you, probably for your entry point, and then you can put that 15-minute template on. And again, looks slightly different. So the points that are slightly different are generally the R1 and R2, S1 and S2 support and resistance pivots. Okay, they're based on the candles, the actual open candles, so they're going to be different in every time frame. Yeah, the higher time frame dotted levels don't change. So all these weekly and monthly levels that you see here, you see on the daily chart, they filter through to the hourly chart and the 15-minute. Yeah, that's the higher time frame trading in action. What's happened in the past, being able to show you what should happen in the future. So what we try and understand is, were we trading in real value on that weekly? And then that should bring us through to the daily. So we know the weeklies are very, very negative. The market's had every opportunity to bounce from these lower Bollinger Bands and come back to value, and it hasn't. Okay, but then we can see the market now is gapped on the low side on the daily, and we're very, very negative on the hourly, below these hourly fib lines. So really what we're looking for is a short-term trade. We can see that on the 15-minute charts, and that is a break of this lower level at 1.18760. When we break that, we've got nothing else, support-wise on the higher time frames anywhere on the charts until here. So we're expecting a major sell-off in the euro dollar. Okay, so that's the ability to use templates for the same product. So this is the weekly, daily, hourly, 15-minute view of the euro dollar. Now, once you've got these templates open, you can bring up your market watch, okay, which is this button here with the green and red cross, and you can bring any product into play. So if you want to trade WTI, been in the news a lot. Okay, just drag it from your market watch into these open charts, and your template automatically adjust, okay, to the product that we're trading. So all of a sudden now we're seeing a great indication of what WTI is trying to do. We know from the news itself that we're way below, key levels, and I suspect. I mean, again, we're trading at 48.73 right now, and again, we don't have that many levels to go at. But what we're looking at is the hourlies bringing things into play, our support and resistance lines and pivots. So we've closed below that 423.6. So what we're looking for is a break of this lower Bollinger Band and trying to understand where the market can get to on a low perspective. So it doesn't matter what you want to trade. You can bring the stock markets into play. We've got the FTSE. You could do the US markets. You could do the European markets. Any kind of other commodities like gold, silver. Doesn't really matter. As I've said to you, the markets will exhibit movement between these support and resistance points in these frameworks. All you have to do is understand how they affect you and how you can interact with them with the use of iView charts. So again, we've got the UK 100 seem to be consolidating mid-range. 2 weekly rejections, well, 3 weekly rejections when we close on this week, I guess, of attempts to move lower. We can see from the daily candles here, we've closed below the moving average, but haven't got back to the Bollinger Band. We're finding support around these key pivots. So really what we're looking for now is the hourlies to get back up to these main levels on the hourly and these upper fib levels. And I again suspect, the FTSE is the only major indice to not hit psychological and technical levels. I mean, the S&P's hit 2,000, the DAX hit 10,000, so why wouldn't the FTSE hit 7,000? It's still a very strong market. So that's what you're trying to do, build up a picture from these templates. Now, you can build up a template however you want. So if you want to close all these charts down and just bring up a blank chart like this, and then add your own indicators, then you can put a blank chart on. You can add your custom indicators. You want the Bollinger breakouts, and then maybe you want to put another indicator like the newsreader indicator on. Okay, that's fine. So you can say that's my normal template. Okay, so that's what I want to look at. From my charts, I just want to look at the hourly Fibonacci and make sure I'm aware of the news. So all you do is go back to the template, save template as whatever you want. Then that's your own individual template. So all you do is drag any of the indicators that you want, save it as a template name you want, and you can be time frame specific, or you can just be layout specific. And this is again the power of iView charts and MT4. You can put anything you want into a template and it's readily available to act. So when you bring in the template with the indicators and the profiles, all of a sudden, you get the charting power of a very, very, advanced charting package that is essentially free. MT4 is free. It's just the iView charts that changes, something from a very, very basic chart like this, okay, that gives you no information at all, into this view of where support and resistance can be found within the markets. And again, it works on any time frame, any product, and that again is down to you to find out what you want to trade and what's interesting you in the markets.